Hey there, Audra here. And if you're watching this on YouTube, would love for you to subscribe if you like videos like this, because I'm going to talk about the 7 hot trends still happening now from some of my 7 favorite vendors that I visited at the Las Vegas market. Now, here I am. I was speaking at the RISA convention, and the RISA convention, the staging convention, is timed right before the Las Vegas market. Here we are at the market. So that's me and my sister, far right, and the girl, Dusty, who works for my sister. They're stagers in Santa Cruz. And here we are. So one of the beauties of being a home stager and designer is you get to shop wholesale from these amazing furnishing vendors that otherwise the rest of the world has to shop retail. And the Las Vegas market is kind of this huge event. It's like a couple times a year. It's like High Point, very similarly for East Coast. And these 3 large buildings behind us was our shopping zone. And so we had so much fun. You're a kid in the candy store shopping away and having fun. So let's talk about the top trends I'm seeing and from my top vendors. 7 top trends, 7 favorite vendors at the market. Here's the fun part. If you are a stager and designer today, you don't have to be at the market to shop these vendors. You need to actually look them up. I'll include some links below. So if you're watching this on YouTube, go into the description and there's a link to the blog post that I'm putting this at so that you can get the direct links to these favorite vendors and open up accounts with them, which I highly recommend because they are amazing for both designers and stagers. And I'll be featuring more of these kind of videos because we had so much fun at the market. I can talk forever from all the vendors that I met with. And some vendors are way better than others. So you'll definitely want to check these out. All right. First vendor, here's a hot tip. When you go to the market, I always take a photo before I go into the store because I'm taking photos at the store and then I'll forget what I saw because I always go home and then shop. So Furniture Classics, they are a RISA buying group, which means if you're a member of RISA, you actually get it for a really good price. And I loved Furniture Classics. What I also loved, and this is kind of a top trend you're going to see a lot, is I noticed the furniture had more details these days. So furniture with a little bit more detail in it. So as you can see from this chair, the little gold handles. Another trend that we're still seeing is that kind of woven rattan. So it was rattan, but now kind of more of a more sophisticated, and you'll see with more woven materials. Here's what I mean by more of that furniture detail. Look at the legs on this beautiful dining table at Furniture Classics. They're just so fun, right? Furniture Classics some more. Look at the detail in this curio. I mean, even from inside, we asked ourselves, what are these? The drawers, whatnot. Just beautiful, very classic design. Same thing with this leather chair. And what I love about this furniture, and especially with the added details, kind of reminds me of the more vintage vibes. It's that kind of trend that we're seeing. It lends itself to more timeless design because you can't really tell that this is newly built furniture, right? It looks like furniture that could be from eras from way before, which I kind of love. And here's another one. This armoire. Look at all the detail to it. So way more detail, more kind of vintage vibes, and more of kind of that woven, like I said, rattan, which I saw in almost every showroom. Onto one of my second favorite vendors, and that's Dovetail. Now they're a little bit more contemporary in style, but one of the strange trends I listed in my trends workshop, which I'll include a link on that blog page too. If you never got to see my trends workshop, you're gonna want to see it because it was an hour of stuff like this where we got to look at all the hot trends. And that's important because then you get to see the lifestyle cycle of the trend. As a stager, you don't want to be buying things that are kind of towards the end of the life cycle. Burlwood was one of the newer trends I listed and still saw quite a bit of it. So here it is in coffee tables. Now, I would caution away from it because it is it's strongly patterned. And you know, if you've taken my color training, you really can only have one of these kind of strong statement patterned fixtures or finishes in a space to really, make it kind of coalesce. Here's kind of more of that trend, the furniture details as we're still at Dovetail, kind of the vintage vibes. Look at these, kind of the artworks, very classic, the landscapes, again, more timeless feel. And nature, which really excites me because I think it's always a good idea to include a lot of more timeless pieces in your design when you're putting together your space. because then you can't really tell what year you designed that room. Because if you can tell what year you designed that year room, it's inevitably going to date itself. We don't want that. More of that woven. Look at this. It's a little bit different, not rattan, but a lot of light fixtures, more of kind of woven feel. Kind of a lot of times we see trends kind of morph, and that's kind of how I'm seeing that rattan trend morph. Now, color trends. Who doesn't love learning about color? You know, color is near and dear. That's why I have a color training. But in this color trends, a lot of more muted colors we're going to see a lot of. We're still at dovetail. And you see these muted kind of colors. And I just had to include this because this was at Dovetail and they just had this wallpaper. How awesome is that wallpaper? I'm just giving you a close up of that and how they mix it with kind of new and old. And you're going to see a lot of that, which is fun. It's kind of the vintage vibes mixed with the new. So if you just recently in the last 5 years designed a space and you kind of went all modern and you're kind of like, I need something with more soul, just mix in some of these kind of cool vintage pieces. And of course, loving the on the wallpaper. On to my third favorite vendor. Who doesn't love forehands? And what was really cool about forehands, because I went to the Las Vegas market last year, I kind of go every year so I could stay on top of trends for you all, is they completely redid their showroom and it was dark and moody. And that is one of the trends that you guys know is trending. Strangely, even from a staging realm, a new report came out that the dark and moody, dark grays and muted greens, mostly dark grays, kind of brought people more money in the sale of their home, some of their rooms, which I thought was crazy because staging first came out, everything's white and beige. So super fun. Here's more of that dark moody. This is the artwork at Forehands. And I just want to give you a little detail. I don't know if you can see it. Look at this art piece, something I've never really seen before. It was ocean waves and they had the ocean cascading onto the mat. How cool is that? We loved it. Of course, my sister bought a bunch of that for her staging because it's just different. Again, vintage vibes. Look at the still life. And more of those muted colors you're going to see. Forehands is kind of renowned for that. More of the rattan. And this also gets me to another trend I'm still seeing trending. I thought for sure it would have gone away by now. And that is, let me get this to you. Look at this fuzzy. The fuzzy, the boucle. It's not so much boucle. Boucle's morphed. And I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. Sorry. It's just my California accent. I call it teddy bear. Yeah, the fuzzy stuff is just not going away. You're going to see a ton of it. And it's everywhere. But here's also more of that furniture detail. You can't really see it here, but we'll go to the next screen. There's my sister. Yes, there are bars in most all of the showrooms. So we just have fun drinking our way and shopping. Look at the fuzz. I can't imagine if you spilled something on this, how difficult would it be to clean, but it was everywhere. Takes you back again. We're at Forehands. More of that detail. Look at the detail on this cute little chair and the woven back to it. But again, it's a pretty timeless looking chair. You cannot tell what year that chair was built. Still more Forehands, more detail. Look at this kind of side chair and the little detailed arms to it. Sorry. And the bookshelf. It's just beautiful. And the muted colors, which you see everywhere. Next vendor that I love is Mercana. And this one is for my Canadian people, members. Great Canadian vendor. I actually absolutely love, and they do ship to the US as well. It's just a little bit pricier. So here, going back to that kind of dark and moody space, they really do have great art. If you do any sort of Airbnbs for mountain Airbnbs, they have kind of the best artwork for kind of mountain landscapes. I love it. Back to that vintage vibe. We saw a lot of still lifes there and that dark and moody, and then more of that vintage vibe. How cool is this gallery wall that they put together? And this lamp, of course. Here we are. Oh, I've just entered into Classic Home and I did a major faux pas because I walked in giddy and excited to eat lunch and I didn't take a photo of the outside. But this is Classic Home, one of my other favorite vendors. They have so much in the showroom you're going to see. But going back to furniture details, look at the little kick plate and the rattan, which we saw a lot of. Here we are inside Classic Home, and I just, of course, had to take more photos of these fuzzy chairs with my sister, and more of that kind of rattan woven. You'd see it in a lot of, saw it all over in light fixtures, Curry Company, everywhere, but here it is in Classic Home. Here we are, and you can see how big this showroom is. I mean, look at all of the furniture choices that you have when you venture into these showrooms. Like I said, a huge bonus to be a stager and designer, and it's so much fun. This is taking fuzzy to the nth degree, but I had to, of course, take a photo of it. And more of those muted colors and fuzzy chairs. I'm just going to show you a bunch. And, you know, this is where they kind of get me because I don't know. I had to sit here, right? I mean, it calls to you. You've got the, you know, circular furniture, which of course is still trending. We know this, round furniture. Swivel chairs, still trending. Love the swivel. And put it in the teddy bear. Oh, one of my favorite vendors, which I'm sure you've probably not heard of, is Blue Ocean Traders. And you know, I told you I'm a little more traditional, so this one really gets me every time because it's filled with really timeless furnishings. Put this vendor on your list as a place to shop. Check out this island. Of course, they also had it serving as a bar, but I thought, oh my gosh, I love it. And here's the thing I love about this vendor, very inexpensive. These cool kind of wooden trays were, I wish I could remember the price, but they were not remarkably inexpensive. Look at the details, the legs on these tables. I absolutely loved it. And I think the tables came in different finishes. This little side chair, I want to say I saw in my friend Jason Staff's staging, and I noticed it right away because it's a statement piece. Great for staging. Again, Blue Ocean Trader, not an expensive vendor. So check it out. And if you want these cool statement pieces, lots of detail, that's a place to go. For those of you who do those mountain Airbnbs, they have their vintage skis, poles, and snowshoes. I thought that was kind of cute. I know a lot of you like to use those pieces. Next vendor that I love that I know you probably haven't thought of because it's a very actually inexpensive vendor. It makes it very good for staging and it's kind of a gifty, it's kind of more small piece, but it's Napa Home and Garden. And I love the way they put everything together in their space. I mean, there's just, as you can see, they have these little side rooms, 10 of them, and there's just so much to look at, so much to shop and look at, and it's all very reasonable. But getting back to kind of that rattan woven trending, I had to bring that in. Next vendor and last vendor, because I don't want this video to be too long. It's already long enough. And you've probably not heard of this one either. Creative Co-op. You got to look them up. Go to the link, make sure you do, check them out. Very inexpensive, great for staging, great for accessories. Here you have kind of, again, that rattan trending. Oh, let's see how much. I think this chair was like $300. I wish I could remember. So inexpensive, swivel, cute, very affordable. Look at the detail of this table. My sister, of course, purchased, had to get. Really fun. They have more small scale staging, which works. I know in my little beach communities, we were shopping for a, vintage beach bungalow for a design client. We're in here, so it was really fun to find some of these pieces. All the detail, these little side tables, again, very classic era. And again, the little detail on these tables, and these tables were like $50. They were remarkably inexpensive. I feel like my sister cleared out the store for her staging inventory. Also, here's a hot tip. They had wonderful pillows, really good pillows. All their pillows actually come with the fill, which I love it. It wasn't just pillow covers. And all their pillows were priced in like the $30 to $50 range, which is like unbelievable. And they look like high level designer pillows. Back to the beginning. Okay, you guys, hopefully you like that. 7 trends for my 7 favorite vendors. I'm going to list it below in the blog post. I'm going to have links to those favorite vendors for you to go crazy and shop away. And if you haven't, like I said, checked out my trends video, check it below. It's an hour of stuff like this you're going to love. and I will see you in the next video.